Rofhiwa at the business desk. We've been talking about the excessive pricing of garlic and ginger. Now you're going to tell us the National Consumer Commission is going to be investigating some retailers. Let's pick that up.
That's right, Jeremy. So the National Consumer Commission has launched an investigation into allegations of excessive prices of garlic and ginger. This follows an outcry from consumers, also on social media, that various suppliers had hiked their prices for these two products. And joining me now to discuss this further is the NCC Acting Commissioner, Thezi Mabuza. Many thanks for your time this afternoon. Let's maybe talk about what prompted this particular investigation to come into place. Is it solely because of the complaints from consumers, or has there a trend that the Commission has seen?
It is a mixture of both. It's the trend that we have picked up starting from the festive season, but also as well from a number of consumers that really have sent us pictures, but also again on the public platform as well on social media, wherein we have seen consumers really complaining about those price hikes.
And it's very interesting. I'm just wondering why the National Consumer Commission is part of this particular investigation when there have been other issues around the pricing of sanitizers, masks and things like that in the past, and we've seen the Competition Commission and other bodies similar to that taking that up.
We and the Competition Commission are partners. Actually, when you can look at what our Act says, we are more on the demand side of business, while the Competition Commission is on the supply side of the business. Now, when you are looking at the issue of garlic and what has been raised now in the public space, you will see that is what actually affects consumers in particular, because they go to the store, they buy from different suppliers. So for us, in essence, is that we wanted to look at how can we reduce and actually offer redress to consumers, because really they are suffering harm in this instance. So we come in because we want to ameliorate what consumers are actually experiencing.
Right, and you have mentioned the companies that you have going to be investigating. They include Pick n Pay, Woolworths, Shoprite, Cambridge, Food Lovers Market, and we've been reaching out to these retailers through the day to get commentary on thoughts about the investigation, and Pick n Pay highlighting that they have not received any complaint from your organization. Have you been reaching out to these retailers?
Yes, they haven't received complaints from us because the certificate that we have sent to them, we told them that it is an investigation based on our own volition, based on the empowerment by the Act of Section 71. They are aware of that. They all received those certificates. They are aware, and most of them, they ask for some time for them to prepare the information, because what we are looking at them giving us the facts, because we want them to provide us the cost of their price for procuring, and then the cost of their selling price for all the different areas, starting from March last year to this period, so that we can see the trend when for how much have they sourced the product and for how much have they sold it, so that we can see if maybe in their own profit, whether they have not unduly profited over and above what they have set themselves as a target in terms of their profit margin.
What would the recourse be following the outcomes of the investigation? If you find that there's any wrongdoing by the retailers, what kind of recourse would there be?
In this instance, it will differ really, because the implication that this has on the health of consumers and on their psyche when they need this most would actually be one of those aggravating circumstances. But what we are looking at in terms of the Act is that it's either is a 1 million or 10% of the supplier's annual turnover, whichever is greater.
Right. Let's talk about oversight. This is not the first time that retailers will find themselves in hot water or having investigations cast upon them for various practices. The oversight of organizations like the National Consumer Commission, do you think that that is strong enough? And what do you think needs to change to prevent or to create better compliance of those who who are part of the retail space?
We do not think that really they need to be kind of like mothered in such an instance, because the Act is clear. It's an Act of General Application wherein it expects that suppliers should actually comply. In this instance, I think what should be a clear message is that the issue of now sitting around the table discussing fines without actually now giving redress to consumers, I think it's what also perpetuates these actions. So for now, all that we are looking for is that for them to play, open cards. Let us see what is the cost. Let us see what is your profit, so that now we can have proper sanctions that are befitting, instead of now cutting corners wherein people would be like, no, this is a crisis, let us maybe go quickly and then enter into a settlement agreement wherein we sit and then people agree. So when we agree is that we concede, and people are saying we are conceding, without actually saying that we are at fault. So it's like, on the other side, they are at fault, but they do not want to come out clearly because we did not conclude the investigation. I think if we really go out as regulators, conclude the investigation and put it out there and say, this is what we have found, so that even the fine that would be agreed upon should be befitting. It should be appropriate.
Right. And when do you anticipate you'll complete this investigation?
We wanted to be as quick as possible, but given the time span, some of them actually said that they would need some time, let's say up to a month or so, for them to provide the information, because we wanted the information from March up to this particular point, so that we can see month to month what was their profit margin and really what prompted the price hike, especially starting from December up to where we are right now.
Brilliant. So much. Thank you so much for your time this afternoon. That's the Acting Commissioner at the National Consumer Commission, Thezi Mabuza. And as I mentioned earlier, we have been reaching out to the various retailers who will be investigated by the body. And we got a response from Pick n Pay, and I just want to highlight to you very briefly. They say that the prices of ginger and garlic have gone up because these products are heavy in demand at a time when they are out of season. The buying cost has gone up for a lot of retailers, particularly where we are having to import the product. That is just part of the statement that they shared with us. And of course, we'll update you as we get statements from other retailers later on in the day or the week.